So recently, Samsung participated at a Unpacked 2023 event, and they unveiled one of their recent new mobile hardware. Uh, their next lineup of their flagship smartphones, the Samsung Galaxy. Now they're going to release the Samsung Galaxy S23, S23 Plus, and S23 Ultra. Now, of course, with all three smartphone models of the Samsung Galaxy line, there's bound to be some differences, and the price does reflect on that, and there's going to be plenty of similarities as well. So I'll so first I will talk about their chipset. They're using the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy. It's going to have a slightly higher maximum clock CPU core and GPU so it'll be really good. It'll be somewhat similar to past year's Plus variant phones. That's pretty good. And feature a 6.1-inch 1080p AMOLED panel that will be like at least 120 hertz refresh rate with an improved of 1750 nits peak brightness. That's pretty cool. And the battery will be like at 3900 milliamps of power. Just keep in mind that wire charge will be like 25 watts. Uh, but although I should also mention the S23 Plus has a larger 6-inch AMOLED screen with the same refresh rate and brightness, so that's a good thing. So it's slightly bigger with 4,700 milliamps of battery and can charge up to 45 watts. So I'm assuming that's the more expensive one out of the three. Now, all of these phones do they do share the same camera system of 50 megapixel sensor and can record video up to 8K at 30 FPS. That's really impressive at 8K. I mean, trying to find like 8K TVs are still really expensive. And those are like 12 megapixel ultra wide videos and a 10 megapixel three times telephoto. That's really impressive. With even a 12 megapixel selfie camera, HDR support at 60 FPS, that's really cool. Those are like really the non-foldable phones. Everyone knows the Galaxy Z Fold phones, and those in itself just cost like thousands of dollars. So that's crazy. At least the S23 Ultra does feature a 6.8-inch 1400 pixel AMOLED display that does come with like an S Pen and variable refresh rate of like between 1 to 120 hertz, 5000 milliamp battery, 45 watt charging support. Now, of course, like I know a lot of the specs and detailed analysis and whatever, and how one is better than the other, and what do they all feature, what's different and similar. Yes, we know that. Everyone usually cares about what about the price point. Then they'll figure out the other stuff later. The S23 is at $800, S23 Plus $1,000, S23 Ultra $1,200. So that in itself should tell you what it is. At least the storage for the S23 Plus and Ultra will have like 256 gigabytes instead of 128 that everyone is aware from the S2022 models. And the base spec models of the S23, it's still 128, the base one, so just keep that in mind. And like S23 and S23 Plus does offer 8 gigabytes of RAM, so that's really cool. And the Ultra has 12 gigabytes of RAM. And at least they all have like Android 13 with One UI 5.1 out of the box of some sort. And the device will get like 4 to 5 years of like Android updates and security enhancements. And a lot of people say that that's better than usually the common update policies of Google Pixel. So that's I'd say that's really good news for Samsung users. And it's not shocking. It's still one of the more popular mobile brands, not just electronics, but in terms of mobile offerings, the Samsung Galaxy S series, it's always a preferred choice, despite paying a very high premium price, 800, 1000, or 1200. It's expected. You are getting a lot out of paying a huge amount of money. Me personally, I actually really like the Galaxy A series. I have a Galaxy A phone, so I prefer those, but you get the S phone series, the S23. Yeah, for sure, especially if you're a creator, influencer, whatever, you'll definitely make the most out of them.